Imagine this. You're driving along the road, the usual route that you typically go. You're on your way home to meet up with your kids and family after a day at work, and you find your stop at a stop sign. That stop sign happens to be really close to an airport, and you decide to stall your car right there, leave the car, go into the airport, book a one-way flight to Ibiza. You find yourself in the jungle. And there's a little cabin that you decide to situate yourself in, and you're being very intuitively led. There isn't a lot of logic going on, but you have a notebook and you find at night there aren't even any lights that are lighting your way, but there is some sort of ethereal light. And as you're writing, you're not consciously thinking about what you're writing. You are channeling page after page after page, night after night after night. And when you're done, nothing is the same. This is the story of the founder of human design. That's the story of Alan Robert Kraiker, a Canadian entrepreneur who did just that in 1987 and published his findings in 1992. And fun fact that the International Human Design School actually linked an astrological event, a supernova, around the exact same time that Alan Robert Krauker, also known as Ra, during that time. So before you dismiss this as being outlandish, kind of really sort of out there, and like, what the heck is going on here? I'd like to encourage you to go ahead and look at your chart. But before you do that, I want to break down what human design is and the key aspects of your chart that you want to look at and what they mean at a glance. These are things that I wish I knew when I first inputted my information into a human design app. I like Jovian Archive. That's pretty much the classic. Human design is a spiritual modality that was channeled, and it combines a few different aspects of ancient wisdom that apparently the founder had never studied. And yet there it was, interwoven together in this work that he wrote. So we have astrology, the position of planets in the sky at your time of birth. We have I Ching, the Chinese book of divination. We have Kabbalah, the tree of life from Judaism. We also have the chakra system, which is popular in Hindu belief system. We have quantum mechanics, also known as quantum physics. So that is the scientific angle here. There is also an element of genetics and biochemistry. A few reasons why you may want to use human design and dive in include understanding who you are and what your purpose in this life is, understanding how you interact with the world and how you can optimize it, creating more ease, abundance, and flow in your overall daily life. When you put in your birth information, where you were born, and if you don't know your birth time, try to find it out. But if you know it was the morning or you know it was the night, just try to get as close as possible because there are certain aspects that can shift in a certain period of time. So it's super common. I've had coaching clients that I've worked with who I introduced to human design, and they text, let's say, their mom, "Hey, what time was I born?" And it's so funny. The immediate response is worry. Wait, is everything okay? Like, why would you need to know the time you were born? It almost feels like something you'd need for medical records when really it's for a different kind of record. So what I want you to look at first, the most important overarching basis is your type, your strategy, your not self theme, your inner authority, your profile, and your definition. So let's start by a brief overview of the different profile types. I'll start with the type that is the most common, a generator. The generators are the worker bees of the world, and they're able to have a list of to-dos and check them off, go, 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 like an Energizer bunny. Like generators are here to get stuff done, and they're about 36% of the population. They're the most common. And then next up we have manifesting generators. They're a hybrid of a generator and a manifester. We'll go into manifestors later. They're highly productive and flexible, and they tend to have moments where they can really manifest things and allow things to happen and come to them, while at other times being more of the doer. So that's about 35% of the population. And then we have projector. Projectors are here to be the guides and the teachers of the world. Spoiler alert, I'm a projector. Hello. And it's really important to be invited to participate. We'll go into that a little bit later. And projectors are around 20% of the population. Next, we have manifestors. Manifestors are here to do big things, to initiate bold action, to be the leader of movements. And they can be described as having a really compelling aura, and they're about 9% of the population. And then we have the reflector, 1% of the population. They do have some commonalities with projectors that I'll talk about probably in a different video to keep this high level. And reflectors tend to be very sensitive to their environment, borderline reactive to their environment if they're not conscious of it. And they tend to need a lot of time to process decisions before they make them. And they are about 1% of the population. When you do your human design chart, I'm curious, at a gut instinct level, does this resonate with you so far? Comment, go ahead and let us know what your type is. I'm so curious to see who is attracted, if we have any trends and who's watching this video. And you can maybe find new friends, find people that have things in common with you that you'll be able to really relate with. And next we have our strategy. So I'm not going to go through all the strategies. You'll be able to do this on your own. The strategy of waiting for the invitation, which is a projector strategy, is the indication that you're living your design and that you're being your truest, highest expression of yourself. When it comes to the self theme, that would be success for a projector. It's different things for different types. And the way to get there is through the strategy. So I know for me, if I'm taking a lot of proactive actions and doing a lot of outreach and trying to make it happen, I can operate in that way, but the truest, highest success is going to be when I'm simply visible and doing my thing and people notice and they call upon me. Hey, would you like to speak on this panel? Hey, would you like to give a soundbite in this article or whatever it may be? Now that brings us to our not self theme. Let's say that you're not totally clear if you are living in alignment with your strategy. Maybe you get a little bit confused about it. So, one way to know that you are not living your strategy is if you are feeling your not self theme. So, mine as a projector is listed as bitterness. So, some people are prone to frustration or other things. But for example, bitterness is feeling overlooked, feeling like, wow, they really didn't appreciate what I put down. That's kind of messed up. I did so much and I have so much to offer, but they just don't see it. Or maybe an example of this could be, let's say that as a projector, you volunteer advice and people don't follow it and something happens, and then someone else comes in and gives the same advice, and then it's followed, and then that person's praised. So you might feel bitter, but it's only because you didn't wait for the invitation to give that advice at the right time to someone who was receptive. And in another video, we'll go into how to set yourself up to receive those invitations. But for now, let's go into inner authority. So you'll notice when you see your chart, it's like the outline of a human, and you can kind of see that the different points on it align with different chakra points. And you'll see that some are filled in with the color, some are totally open. What that means, so typically one that is filled in will be your authority. So in my case, and 50% of the population, emotional authority rules. So that means that I really need to feel calm, ideally calm, maybe not too much making a decision on a high or a low, but just feeling a sense of peace and I mean, even some excitement following where the really good feelings are, or heeding when I'm feeling really uncomfortable, or you know what I mean? Not being reactive to your emotions, but if you are emotional authority, your emotions in particular are giving you valuable information when it comes to the decisions that you should make in your life. Next, we have your profile. So you'll see two numbers. One is more conscious, one is more subconscious. The first number is going to be conscious. The second number is going to be subconscious. You could think of the first number as your personality, and other people may agree with it. So I'll give the example of my profile, which is a 3-5. So the 3 being conscious, it's technically called the martyr heretic. So the 3 is the martyr. You can also reframe it as being an experimenter, which many people choose to do. And essentially, it means that, okay, we're very aware that there's trial and error. In fact, if you have a 3 in your profile, you are probably experimenting more than most people and failing more than most people. However, you have the potential for more successes and being really resilient because it's normal for you to fail so much. And then when it comes to the 5 line, so if that is unconscious for you, then like it is for me, then likely you're a natural storyteller. But you may not always be aware when you're in those experiences that are conscious that it's going to turn into questioning norms and creating a potentially counterculture narrative that you may even feel called to share. And I guess that's kind of accurate considering these 2 books behind me that I wrote. So I'll go ahead and link those below in case you are a reader. And then we want to take a look at our definition. So your definition is defined by different channels. You will see these combination of black and red lines, and when they come together, they form a channel. So if you have one, your single definition. If you have multiple, then your split definition. So I personally have 3, and I've read some charts informally where some people have up to 5. And basically, the more splits that you have, the more likely you'll need to engage with multiple different social groups to feel whole as a person, where you're actually able to express and be seen and see other people in their authenticity and their truth. You're simply multifaceted. Not to say that you're not multifaceted if you're single split, but there's a layer of simplicity that you have that other people don't have, that other people can't access necessarily as easily. Then you'll notice an incarnation cross. So this can give you additional information into what your strengths are. So for example, mine is right angle cross of planning. It's no mistake that I have hosted a very high volume of event because I actually love the process of planning. So your incarnation cross, I've seen of the sleeping phoenix, of joy, of fear, of different things. It's going to be what motivates you. It's not necessarily going to be what you love most in your life or what you should focus on most in your life, but it's something that you certainly can be aware of because there's an undercurrent in your life guided by that incarnation cross. It really is such a rabbit hole, let me tell you. Once you start to go down the rabbit hole, there's more than what I just shared. There are nuances in what I just shared that I can certainly create more videos about because when I first downloaded my chart, it was over 6 years ago now, going on 7. Actually, this year, it's going to be 7. And they say it takes 7 years to fully understand your own chart. And then after that, you have a chance of understanding others. It's exciting. I feel like I've certainly learned a lot. I've had a fair amount of human design uh, but also just what I've been able to gather from looking into each of the individual aspects, Googling them, watching YouTube videos on them. And I do gravitate towards people who are my same design type. So the main projector at the forefront. Then we have emotional authority, then 3-5. If someone has those 3 components, they have some sort of thought leadership and we're in alignment with, certainly projector, but then those other 2 things, I'm like, that's a bonus. I'm going to go ahead and listen up. They will probably have a way of communicating and sharing information that is a little different than the norms. Even if you are not a projector, you can still get value from diving into your human design, hearing from people of your type, but also probably projectors still. But you may want to continue tuning in. All right, stay tuned for more human design content. One of my core missions is helping human design projectors feel confident. So stay tuned, wishing you a beautiful day. And now I'm going to do a very unprojector-like thing and invite you to subscribe and comment and and click that little icon bell so that it fills in and it's black so you so that you'll be invited. You'll be invited. Comment if you found this helpful, what your takeaway was. Wishing you a wonderfully connected day. Until next time.